Alright, y'all, good morning. Another world according to romance. Damn, we're turning clocks back. I'm back in light again. I can film in the morning. Unfortunately, it's fucking dark before I even get out of work now. It's pretty depressing. Alright, first off, today's election day. It's November 6th, Tuesday. Please make sure you go out and vote, but make sure you cross out whatever joker's name you see on the ballot and put in King Allentown, okay? King Allentown is running for congressman and for governor. So that's my boy. He's probably your boy too. We can win and we can bring positive change. Second off, go to YouTube, look up The World According to Romance, and like, subscribe, and comment. This really helps me out if you do that, man. Please do it. My subscribers have jumped in the last couple of days. I thank all you guys who have subscribed. We need to spread the word, man. I went from 4 to 24 subscribers. We need more. More. All right. Third off, if any of you know John Thomas Loper, I want you to go to the supermarket, buy a dozen eggs, and fling them at his house because he won't give me my computers back. God damn it. But anyways, this next video is kind of by request for that punk who won't give me my computers back. He wanted to see me do something on the Sea Peoples. Now today I'm going to do, this is a warm-up show for, I'm doing a whole series on the Trojan War the next couple days. I'm ready to go. It's like, I'm pregnant with this one. It's about to come out of me. And today the water's breaking. Let's put it that way. And I'm gonna warm you up with a little bit, kind of two things today. We're gonna talk about the Hittites, and we're gonna talk about the Sea Peoples. All right, now, I might have to just do the Hittites today. This might get way too long. We're already on 2 minutes. I don't like going past 10. In fact, yeah, we'll just stick to the Hittites today. All right, the Hittites. Who are the Hittites? Well, again, I'm leading this into the Trojan War because I'm a big Bronze Age fan. Now, what was the Bronze Age? The Bronze Age lasted from about 2100 BC to 1200 BC in most places. Some places it was a little later it started, but it all ended around 1200 BC. And that is why I want to tell you about the Sea Peoples. That's why I want to tell you about the Trojan War, because the whole theme here is the collapse of the Bronze Age. All at once in 1208 BC, all these great empires, these magnificent edifices of civilization collapsed and went down, and civilization went into a dark age. So who was around? Who are we talking about in the Bronze Age? All right, well, you got the Near East. You had Babylon got taken, or I'm sorry, Sumeria got taken by the Akkadians in 2100 BC. That was long ago. And basically, the Sumerians was a Indo-European civilization, as far as I can tell, or a very mixed civilization. And the Akkadians were actually Semites, basically Arabs, from the north, who took it over, and never left. So the Akkadian Empire, and what we misnomerly refer to as Babylon, was going on. And then you had Egypt was in its new kingdom during most of the Bronze Age, or they had both the Middle Kingdom and the New Kingdom happened during the Bronze Age. But during the great period of the Bronze Age, it was during the New Kingdom. So Egypt was killing it and doing strong. And also you had the Greeks, the ancient Greeks. A lot of, the ancient Greek, the great golden age of Greece happened between 600 and 300 BC. But the Greeks have three periods of civilization. One that happened very long ago on the island of Crete, centered at the city of Knossos, and that was the Minoan civilization. Now the Minoans wrote in Linear A, and we have lots of their writings, but we cannot decipher. No one can decipher Linear A. I'm trying my best. I still don't understand Linear B. But Linear B, the next civilization that came after the Minoans was the Mycenaean civilization, and we're going to talk a lot about them today. The Mycenaeans were the Middle Kingdom of the middle civilization of the Greeks. And all that you know about the gods, like Zeus, Hera, Apollo, all that shit, the whole Greek myth thing, that was their religious system. That was their religious belief system. So that's what they believed in, and that's come to us as the Greek myths. They were going strong. They were a good civilization going at the time, and they're the people who are the attackers in the Trojan War, which we're going to talk about later. All right, but along with all of this stuff, there was an empire called the Hittites. Now, up until recently, up until about 150, 130 years ago, archaeologists didn't, the Bible talks about the Hittites, okay? As early as Genesis, Abraham's wife buys property from somebody named, I forget his name, something the Hittite was who he was called. Also, later on in the Bible, and this is probably doesn't happen until, I don't know, 1,000 years later after Abraham, but King David was in love with Bathsheba, and Bathsheba was married to a Hittite. Okay, and he sent him to the front lines of a battle so that he would die, and then he could have Bathsheba. David was a scumbag, and we're gonna get into David, Solomon, and Saul. They were all scumbags. Sorry, Jewish people, your kings are fucking scumbags. I do my research. Anyways, so this we knew all along who the Hittites were, and they keep appearing in the Bible. What should be, and they should have been in what is like now Syria, but there's no archaeological evidence. So in the 1800s, like 150, 130 years ago, archaeologists kept finding these ruins in central Turkey, in the middle of the mountains of Turkey, and there was these wonderful ruins, and there was writing everywhere. They left all kinds of tablets. They left all, and even better, they were in cuneiform and two languages. One was Akkadian, which we already understood how to read, and the other was Hittite. So we immediately could understand what these people were saying. And so slowly they called themselves the Hattusa, but at first they didn't know what the hell was going on with these ruins. So we had ruins that we didn't have a name for, and then we had a people that we didn't have ruins for. So it turns out they're the same people. And the Hittites that were in the Bible, it turns out the Bible was kind of wrong. The Hittites that are mentioned in the Bible, they were kind of like living on the outskirts of the empire, calling themselves, like I'm sure there's people in Mexico who call themselves American. There's people in India and Australia and South Africa who drink tea and play cricket because they were part of the British Empire. It was something along those lines, but the Hittite Empire proper was in central Turkey. Now they started out in 1700. They started BC, 1900 BC, somewhere in there, and they went all the way up to 1200 BC. Their language was crazy, like the names of their kings, Supaluma II. There's one of the dopest names in history for anyone is Merciless I. Not spelled merciless like we spell it, but still, like they had a really crazy, one of the most funky Indo-European languages I ever seen. They were Indo-European, they were white, and they were good warriors. In fact, it's rumored that they had iron first. They even had iron during the Bronze Age. But they slowly rose to power. They were the other superpower. They were, Egypt was not the only superpower at the time. They went to war often with Egypt. In fact, Ramses II went to battle with them and went to war with them. And usually when Egypt and the Hittites would go to war, their playground, their little stomping ground was Syria, okay? And in Syria, northern Israel, is Kadesh, and that's where the battle was. And during that battle, both sides say they won. The Hittites say they won the war. The pharaohs do not, anything you see that the pharaohs wrote, man, shut the fuck up. Jesus. anything you see the pharaohs write, it's all propaganda. They'll never write anything bad about themselves. It's always the pharaoh saved the day, the pharaoh was Superman, the pharaoh can kick the ass and beat everybody up by himself. And that's what the Egyptian records say. The Hittite records are a little bit more down to earth, and they say, you know, basically we won. There was a couple more wars. I was actually, and then when they finished, when Ramses II and I think it was Supaluma II, both agreed to a peace treaty. And it was the first peace treaty on earth that we know of. It happened in, I believe, somewhere in the 1300s BC. I guess somehow the Egyptians had plague at the time, and there was prisoners taken back to the Hittite, Hattusa, the Hittite capital, and that fucking set off plague, and it actually killed their king. It didn't end, that wasn't the end of the empire, but it sure was a heart piece for them. So, they're a really underrated civilization, okay? And they're important because, again, they're in the Bible, and again, they were the bad boys of the Bronze Age. Not even the bad boys; they were just the stalwart, you know, fortress of Turkey, or now we call it Anatolia in the Bronze Age. Hold on, one moment. All right. So, anyways, thank you for the pause. There was even a time in the 1500s, all right, 1500 BC. Where the Hittites walked they marched, and this is probably about like between like 750 to 1,000 mile march, all the way to Babylon, beat the shit out of the city, burned it to the ground, and went back home. Didn't even occupy it. They call it the longest drive-by shooting in history, and that's, I don't know, that was typical of the Hittites. But anyways, to make a long story short, on the edge of their empire was a city that they called Willusia. And we don't have 1,000% proof, but we're pretty sure Willusia is close to, if you take the W off it, it's Illusia. And Illusia is very close to Ilium, which is what the Greeks called Troy. In fact, that's why the name of the Trojan War is not called the Trojan War, it's called the Iliad, because it happened in Ilium, and that was ill. No, I'm just kidding. So the Hittites kind of owned Troy. Troy was kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place, because to the west of them was the Greek civilization and world. To the east of them was these Hittites. So they were kind of in a precarious position, and Troy was a very important city. It sits right where, if you know, it kind of, Constantinople isn't far away from it, and that's called the crossroads of the world. It didn't exist yet. It was just a small little town called Byzantium at that time. I don't even think Byzantium existed in that early stage, or it did as a village or something. But Troy was doing well. There was actually, it had several, over the course of the centuries, it rose, grew, fell, rose, grew, fell, and it was a prosperous city because it was a strategic location to have, and that's probably why the Greeks wanted it. We're going to get into the whole face that launched 1,000 ships and Helen of Troy shit, but anyway, right around 1200 BC, the Bronze Age collapses, and one of the reasons it does is because the Hittites collapse. According to the Egyptians, they were brought down, they were attacked and sacked and laid waste by a people that the Egyptians refer to as the Sea Peoples, okay? And the Sea Peoples attacked Egypt, the Sea Peoples attacked the Levant and like the land of Canaan, which is like the Middle East, and they attacked the Greeks apparently. I don't know what the hell, these renegade, they were like cockroaches, these Sea Peoples, whoever they were, but we don't have any real, other than 2 Egyptian pharaohs making a statement on a wall about them. We have nothing, history tells us nothing about these people. And it's right when they appear that the Bronze Age collapses. So that was today's show on the Hittites. Tomorrow, or maybe later on today, I'm going to give you the Sea Peoples. And from there, we'll go on to the Trojan War. And the Trojan War is going to be at least 3 to 5 parts. Do me a favor, again, like on Facebook, get out there and vote for King Allentown and egg John Thomas's house. My name is Romance. Have a great day. I'm at the Breakfast Nook. I'm about to get this party started. Peace.